What's happening, guys? VenomousFatman here. I got a brand new OTGT for you. This time I'm talking about the PSP2, which is now named a brand new name called the NGP, which stands for Next Generation Portable. So it's pretty much the PSP2. It's Sony's new portable handheld system. And I've checked out the pictures. I've seen all the stuff here I'm looking at right now. An article on IGN pretty much that was put up last night, I guess sometime after the press conference, that was writing up all the different specs, different things that they have on there, some of the games that they have, which is pretty cool. So what are my impressions of this new handheld system? Number one, I do not think I'm going to probably be buying this handheld system right from the get-go, because from the most part, from what I could see, especially looking at some of the different things of what it's going to have, it has touchscreen. Okay, it's finally got the damn second analog stick that everybody's been asking for like the longest time. And obviously, one of the biggest things I have to mention, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm not going to buy this, is there's no UMD drive, which everybody knew it was coming, but it's different when you know it's coming, when you actually see that it's not going to have it, and that Sony's kind of like forgetting about the UMD kind of like format, of disc and stuff. So it's kind of sad, because now all those games that you have, unless you have a PSP1, you're not going to be able to play those. Not going to be able to have like digital content transferred over and stuff like that. But what is cool though is that they have this kind of back side touchscreen, which is pretty interesting, because one of the games that they were playing, I don't remember the name of it at the moment, but it was kind of like this game where you were kind of like sticking your thumb or your your finger, your index or your middle finger into the actual back of the actual environment of that game, and kind of like pushing this ball all around. So it looks pretty cool. I can imagine a game kind of like Super Monkey Ball or something that's uses that kind of like functionality. So it seems pretty interesting. It looks really cool. But as far as everything else, dual analog sticks, they got a GPS thing into it, which is, different. It's interesting, something that the PSP1 didn't have, but I don't see a lot of people really using something like that, especially if you already got a GPS, like a TomTom or something. It's slim, it's sleek, it looks tinier than the PSP Go. As far as like thickness is concerned, it's really long. It's got a lot of length on it. I'll put the URL in the description box so you guys can see exactly the pictures I'm talking about and all the different stuff I'm, mentioning and stuff. So here's some of the games that we got coming to it. We got Uncharted. Okay, we got Metal Gear Solid 4. We got Little Big Planet. We're going to take also Call of Duty. That's going to be coming to the NGP. So it's pretty interesting, the kind of lineup that they have. Is some decent games, but the only problem I have with it is this. Little Big Planet for me was okay for the PSP1, I should say. Call of Duty, like for me, a lot of the Call of Duty portable games, especially the ones on the PSP and the DS, they haven't really done it for me. You can't really get the same experience that you would get from something like on the consoles and stuff. Metal Gear, I could believe, could actually be good, because the past couple Metal Gear games that have been on the PSP have been awesome. The best one that by far has been Metal Gear Solid, not Portable Ops, but damn, the last Metal Gear game that just came out. What I feel like an idiot that I forgot the name. But what is it? I'm gonna look it up right now. Damn, I feel like such a moron. But you guys pretty much understand what I'm saying. The last Metal Gear game that just came out, that was that was freaking amazing. Was oh my god, I can't believe I can't remember the damn Metal Gear game that just came out. Freaking, what is it? The PSP1. Oh, Peace Walker, that's what it was. Oh my god, that was a doozy. Okay, see you guys, I recovered from that. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker was amazing. That was also one of my picks last year for the best PSP game of the year, which it was, and it was well deserved so, because that game, there was so much stuff to do. It played exactly like any other console Metal Gear, even though the graphics weren't as good as, like, let's say Metal Gear Solid 4, for example, but, it still was Metal Gear, and it was awesome. It had a great co-op. I can't stress enough how good that game was. But we're going to be getting Metal Gear Solid 4 for this NGP, apparently, from what they're saying, which sounds pretty cool. So other than that, going back to the hardware, though, as far as this actual PSP2, like I said, the biggest thing, that really big reason, why I'm not going to get this, because there is no UMD drive, and, I have all these games for the PSP, and I'm obviously not going to be able to play them anymore on something like this. But also, this thing also has a camera. It's got 6-axis motion control, which is pretty interesting. I guess you're going to probably be getting games or remakes of games kind of like Lair or something, which would be pretty interesting. but it has a built-in microphone, which I'm surprised because the PSP1 you had to buy an extra microphone to kind of plug into it. Same thing with the original DS, very similar to it. So they're actually putting a microphone into there, which is pretty cool. Anything else? What else they got here? We got the N button, stuff like that. Obviously, I'm pretty sure it's going to have a lot of PSN functionality. I guess maybe some of the games that they have are going to have trophies on there, so that'll be pretty interesting. You know, to see how, especially a lot of people that love getting their trophies on their PSN accounts and stuff like that. Anything else worth mentioning? It's going to have Wi-Fi. It's going to be Bluetooth enabled. It's going to have, 3G, which is interesting. I know also a lot of people are talking about the PS phone or the Sony phone, PlayStation phone, whatever it's called, that's going to have something like that. So it is what it is so far. You know, let's see what happens when this thing actually drops, and by the end of 2011, we'll see if, you know, if people actually go out and buy this, because I know for a fact there's just way too many people right now that are lining up for a Nintendo DS. So even though this is good news that this is finally revealed and stuff, I still kind of feel that Sony was a little bit late to the party, and still I think it's going to be very hard for them to compete with Nintendo's non-glasses wearing 3D with the 3DS, you know, because obviously Sony, the PSP or whatever, the NGP doesn't have any functionality like that, and that was like one of the biggest things that people were going nuts over at at E3, especially from Nintendo's booth. So let's see what happens. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on the NGP or the PSP2. Leave your comments and video responses. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are actually going to be buying this thing when it drops later on this year, you know, or if you're going to be going to buy a Nintendo 3DS and stick with it. So put it on here in the comment section. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Venomous is out. That was only the goddamn truth. Talk to y'all later.